everyone, it's Erica on the Altenew YouTube channel today. I must first of all apologize. I have two things to apologize for. My voice, I have actually lost my voice a little bit. This is the first day. It is sounding somewhat normal. The other apology is for using something that has actually been discontinued, which I didn't realize until I started looking for the link. But this is hopefully something that you guys have in your stashes. It is the Doodled Dots cover plate. I love this one. It's got such a fun pattern, and I love adding patterns like this to my backgrounds because I am not great with white space, like leaving it alone. So this, whether you take the negative pieces out or you put them inside and secure them with some double-sided tape, either way works to just kind of, use that background up, because like I said, plain white paper without anything on there, I am not good with that. But I thought, first of all, I would just show you a couple of little tips and tricks on how to get those little pieces to stay inside. So first of all, you're going to want to grab your die cutting machine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to line up our paper. And here I'm actually going to run the die cutting machine sandwich through as normal. My plates are quite warped at the moment, so this is a little bit tricky, not gonna lie. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna take the whole shebang and then we're going to turn over, and hopefully most of the pieces will stay inside the pattern. Then we're gonna add some double-sided tape. This is 2-inch wide double-sided tape. This is from a Spanish company. I live in Spain, so I tend to get things from Spain rather than pay overseas shipping and things, but that is just a little random side note. So we are going to put the double-sided tape on the back here, and then we're going to press down, but then we are not quite done yet. So to make sure that all of the little bits and pieces actually stay where they're supposed to go, we're going to take, I have used tweezers, but you can use a pokey tool or something like this, and we are going to poke through the pattern. Now I'm going to do this on the desk because it's a little bit easier. So we're going to slightly lift the cover plate, not much, just enough so you see where the pieces that haven't come through clean into the pattern are. And then we're going to bend up a little bit more, and then we're going to keep doing this. So we're going to poke through so everything stays where it's supposed to be. So most of these will have a little bit of a grip with the double-sided tape already. So all you have to do is try to keep your cover plate in place and then push through with your pokey tool / tweezers. Toothpick works, I guess, as well. So whichever tool you choose to use, just be a little bit patient and just kind of work through the pattern and make sure that everything stays in place. If you're doing this technique, it's definitely worth taking the extra time to do this so that you will have a really nice and clean background, and it will save you a lot of cleaning up after trying to, moving the pieces into position, etc. So we're nearly done here. So we're going to lift, and ta-da! That is how you do it. Yes. So this works with almost any pattern, as long as you can, flip your sandwich upside down and just try to slide the plate off rather than lifting it so that the paper stays inside your cover plate. Now on this, I am actually going to use the other piece that I've cut out all of the, or poked out all of the holes in, but we're going to just kind of make it a little bit more fun. And also, so this is the reason why we're going to have two pieces layered on top of each other, because it just doesn't, it adds funness, sure, but when you layer two pieces on top of each other, one with the pieces inside and one with the negatives put out, you kind of get more of a depth because you will have the imprint on the bottom piece. So this is another easy way of adding a little bit of extra texture and dimension. So I had another idea here as well, but I will say that for another card actually. So we're going to add a little bit of interest to this by ink blending in a bit of an ombre fashion here. I am quite a lover of ombre. I just find that instead of picking just one color, we're going to use quite a few colors. So first off, we're going to use some Puffy heart, and I'm going to be using the little mini ink blending tools, and we're just going to add color from the top to the bottom basically with 3 different colors. And in this part, you do not have to worry about sort of like staying within any, what's the word I'm looking for? borders or anything like that. So it's going to look a little bit crazy, but once we add that second piece on top, it's gonna magically be cleaned up and we're gonna have a nice white front on our background. Does that make sense? The front of the background is going to be nice and clean and white, and then we're gonna have the color show through the pattern itself. So this is another kind of, again, just fun way of adding a little bit of extra texture and dimension, and it just adds a little bit of depth as well. So the second color is purple vine, or wine even. I don't know why my voice keeps going. I do know why my voice keeps going funny. I don't know why I'm having a problem pronouncing some of these words, because I literally have them on screen in front of me. But again, we are going to carry on. We're going to add a sort of progressively darker and darker color of this. And the only way to do this is to keep basically adding color on top of each layer. So the final color is Cosmic Berry, and it's quite purple. So we're going to start at the bottom, add a lot of colors, and then we're going to kind of drag that purpleness upwards into our middle color. So as you can see, it's looking pretty wild and, you know, a little bit blotchy. But once you add that on top, ta-da! Look at that. Huh? Perfect, right? So that we're going to set aside for now, and then we're going to work on our sentiment, and we're going to use the You Are Everything stamp set. It has some wonderful sentiments in it, and it also has a coordinating die cut that cuts out the You Are. So we are going to stamp up some of these sentiments, and with our stamp wheel, of course, and then we're going to cut them out, or cut the You Are out for sure with the coordinating die cut. And my idea originally was to just use one, like basically just pick one. But there are so many good sentiments in this set that I couldn't decide on just the one. So we are going to pivot again and come up with, not come up with a new idea, but we're going to amend our original idea. So we are going to stack our sentiments. So here first, I was just picking a load of them because I was still in the mindset of like, okay, well, I might stamp up 2 or 3 and then kind of see which one works best on the card. And you will see when my kind of mindset changed, and I was like, ooh, a new idea creep in. So I picked out 4 that I think are just amazing, really, really good ones. And actually 5, but I only stamped up 4 actually, so they didn't fit on the paper. So here I'm like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to stack, and then we're going to cut, and then here I'm like, idea. Okay, another way to add another layer. I know. I can't stop myself. It's a thing. So here I realized, you know what? It's not gonna line up the way I wanted it to on the paper. So I decided to cut that last sentiment out, and the You Are went on the top of the paper so that I could cut the bottom where all of the sentiments are, like on a slant. The whole reason for this is so that a lot of the background will still show through, so all of that work wasn't for nothing, but we're still going to have a nice white space where the sentiments are really going to pop. So I ended up stamping this twice to make sure that I have really nice and crisp sentiment. And now I'm going to bring out my very, very old trimmer. And the idea I had was to cut from the bottom left corner. That's obviously going to be our starting point. And then I'm shifting the paper until I can see that the sentiments are just about to be cut off. And that is where I cut my paper. So we're going to have a nice triangle like this. And then we're going to cut that You Are out with the coordinating die. I also cut out another 2 pieces because, again, I have a problem and I can't stop layering things. So if you ever copy my card designs, I would highly suggest that you actually hand deliver them or put them inside a parcel or package or something like a box, because these are not going to mail very well at all. So, you know, to keep it nice and pretty, you might want to hand deliver. Yes. So you might have noticed that little box I was grabbing some bits and pieces out of. I have one of these just for exactly situations like this, when I just need to die cut out some little pieces. So craft waste is one of my worst kind of waste, so I try not to throw away anything that can actually be repurposed for something else. So even if you have something stamped on there, you can still use it to just die cut one of these little extra layers to basically make the most of all of your paper. And with those pieces done, that is all of our bits and pieces done actually. So now we're going to start layering this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue onto the back of this so that we can basically glue it down onto our colorful side. And the reason I'm using liquid glue is so that I can actually slide it into place before everything kind of sticks to it. Now I was going to just kind of lay this perfectly over the bottom piece, but I actually had a bit of an epiphany as I was layering it up, in that I'm going to slightly off-center layer it so that the pattern, the die cut pattern of the under piece is going to show through the die cut pieces, so that you're going to get an extra little piece of texture, because we can never have too much texture. Well, at least in my opinion, you can't. No. So we're going to gently add this on top, and then we're going to slide it down a little bit so that all of the pattern, or all of the holes in the pattern, have got a little bit of that sort of poking through. And doesn't that just add a little extra touch, huh? I like it. Yeah. So now we're going to add our sentiment and also our whole kind of RU piece. But I did trim down the excess pieces that were kind of sticking out a little bit due to the kind of overlapping there first. So I cut that out because, you know, it's just scissors. But then I am going to add a little bit of foam tape. Yes, instant dimension foam tape. So I'm going to add this to the back of this is the backing tape of my double-sided tape. And the reason I'm adding this foam tape to that is so that I can cut it without that adhesive on the foam tape sticking to my scissors and making them a sticky mess. So another little top tip. So we're going to kind of try to cut the top bit there at an angle so that it perfectly fits into the top corner there. And then we're going to cut the other piece so that it fits. And I did trim off just a tiny bit too much, but that's okay. It's still gonna look great. So we're gonna do this to cover the rest of the triangle so that it's gonna be nice and like stable, because we don't want it to dip in like places. We want to have it nice and flat. So yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. So we're gonna cut it at a slant, and then we're gonna trim it at the bottom, and then we're gonna add it to our triangle, and so on until the whole back of our triangle there is covered. So here I cut off just I forgot to cut the slant. I know, do as I say, not as I do. And one of those little triangles that I've cut off from creating that slant is going to be perfect for that tiny little bit at the bottom. So this is pretty much all covered. So what we're going to do now is we're going to peel off the backing tape, and I was going to just stick this down, but then I do have a very bad habit of getting things on a little bit of a wonky angle. And I thought I don't really want to risk it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue onto the foam tape. Now this might seem a little bit crazy, but I promise you it is a great little tip, because it's still going to stick down just as you want it to, but you will get those extra few little seconds just to kind of make sure that everything goes perfectly straight rather than just sticking down as soon as that foam tape touches the paper. So there you go. We got it on nice and straight. And here I was thinking, ooh, there are a couple of little possibilities here, but I decided to put the U almost sort of slap bang in the middle. And then the R part we're going to put on top of that triangle there. And these are just going to be glued down, and as they are, because they got 3 layers on top. So you're going to get even more dimension. I know I keep saying that word, texture and dimension, but that's what I love, and that's what I'm here for. So here I almost left it like this, but then I thought, it just needs a little something, doesn't it? And I thought, because of the sweet sentiments that are on this, what better to use than some of these little hearts from the Sugar Plum Enamel Dots package. I thought, that's just the perfect little thing, isn't it? Just to kind of an extra little sweetness touch. So I have added a fair few, admittedly, probably more than any other kind of crafter would add, because I do have a problem. I don't know what it is. And here I actually put them away, but then I thought, oh, that bottom one where it says you are loved more than you know, I did feel like, oh, it needed just a little heart there too. So I did get them out and I've added that, which you will see in the final card photo. And but that is it from me for today. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. Apologies for the voice and for using a product that is not available anymore. Please forgive me, and I will be back very soon again with hopefully even more fun dimensions and layers. See you soon again. Bye.
Hey there, Lydia here. I really do hope that you've just enjoyed the video. If so, please subscribe to the Altenew YouTube channel. Also, turn on the notification bell so you can get your daily dose of crafty techniques and tutorials just like this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.